Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexlex here. I got another Master Duel video for you. It's time for the Xyz Cup! Yay! Yeah, I don't think it's been any surprise just reading around online, and also from my own personal thoughts, that you'll probably find that I am not the biggest fan of this event. In fact, you'll definitely find that because I'm not. Here's the thing, right? I'm not inherently opposed to Duelist Cup style events. Like, I actually do enjoy the round 1 of Duelist Cup. I don't enjoy round 2, and I'm actually finding I'm not enjoying rating duels very much either. But that's kind of beside the point. Anyway, however, I do understand why it's not really the best choice, or why people don't think it's the best choice to have a Duelist Cup style event right after the World Championship qualifiers, especially since it's not an actual Duelist Cup, but rather an Xyz event with the Duelist Cup kind of skin, I guess, so to speak. Now, we did have one of these before with the Link Cup, and that was also pretty poorly received, and I think there's a few reasons for this. Like, again, you're going to have that pocket of people who just don't like Duelist Cup style events in general because they don't like to play so competitively for an event that's going to try to give where they're just trying to get free gems from an event, right? And that's definitely understandable. I can definitely see where people are coming from with that. But moreover, I also agree that it's not a good idea to do Duelist Cup style events, particularly for stuff like Xyz or Link Festival, because these kind of formats where you can only do one type of extra deck summoning are not going to be inherently balanced very well, just due to the nature of that you're excluding so many cards from the general pool, right? Not just the extract monsters themselves, but also all the archetypes that go into those extract monsters, so on and so forth. And they definitely seem to balance the ban list differently when it is a Duelist Cup style event as opposed to a regular event. A good example, I think, is Max C, right? The fact that Max C is legal when it's typically, well, I don't know. It seems actually kind of 50-50 whether or not it ends up being legal in certain festivals, but there have been quite a few in recent memory that have banned Max C, but they chose to keep it for this one. And I think the reason is that they want these Xyz Cup, Link Cup, these Duelist Cup style, festival events to be more competitively minded. And much to the dismay of, I think, literally everybody, I think that Konami has shown us that in Master Duel, at the very least, they do want Max C to be a part of competitive play. And I also think that's why they don't hit certain archetypes quite as hard. Like, even for like Fusion or Synchro or whatever events, they'll still hit certain Fusion or Synchro cards, but I really don't think there's that many Xyz cards here. They definitely did not go after a lot of the top decks. And another thing that they didn't do is certain archetypes like Labyrinth, I think is the big one for this particular festival. Like, Lab not in Xyz deck is actually completely legal, and there have been past events that only focus on so many extra deck types where they ban decks like Lab that are very good without having to touch their extra decks. So, yeah, I think that's why the ban list seems weirdly lax for a competitive event. I do think that is intentional. Not that I personally agree with it. I do still think it is an overall not that great of a decision. I really just don't think it's that great of a decision to have these type of festivals be competitive Duelist Cup style events because, like, it's one thing when you have a Duelist Cup festival and you can play competitively with the regular meta, because that play, the skill that you build in that play will at least translate to ranked ladder tournaments or just playing, other not other formats necessarily, but other modes of play in general, right? But, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like it's worth it to sweat or try hard the Xyz Cup, much like it didn't feel like it was worth it to sweat the Link Cup, because it was like a one-time deal, right? And it's not a format that's even particularly interesting. Like, I'm not opposed to sweating in a new format if the format is good, but I don't think that this format is good. I've said it before, and I'll keep saying it as long as they keep putting out events like this. I think it's really uncreative and it's very, very boring at this point to simply have our festivals be like, all right, you can only do one or two kinds of extra deck summoning. It's like, again, like, I don't know. I think this is like the third Xyz only type of event that we've had. Like, we had the Xyz Festival, of course, as the very first festival in MD. And I think we had one last year, and now we have this one here. So, I'm burned out of it, honestly. Like, even Synchro, like, even a Synchro Cup, which I love Synchro decks. I love Synchro summoning. It is by far my favorite summoning mechanic. I'm not interested in playing in a Synchro Festival. I'm just not. I definitely want there to just be more, I guess, creativity when it comes to these festivals, right? Again, I'm definitely just about done with, like, alright, now you can only use this extra deck summoning method. And it's just like, ugh, I don't know. Even the, like, type ones, the type festivals ones, like, what do we have? Fairy Fiend, and the other one was, like, Plant, Insect, Dinosaur, a bunch of random stuff. Anyway, I'm just, like I said, generally not the biggest fan of, like, limiting deck design in that regard, because then it comes down to, like, alright, let's look at this category and figure out just what the best deck here is. I mean, that's what I did with this deck. I haven't even talked about the deck I actually played in the event, Pearly, because I don't even really think there's much to say. This is pretty much exactly, in fact, in terms of the main deck, this is literally exactly the same Pearly list that I use in Ranked Ladder. I just took out the Link monsters for a few more Xyz monsters, like Ensemble Robin, the second Zeus, and Typhon. But again, that's kind of my main gripe with, you know, festivals where there's these kinds of limitations where, you know, if it's just an extra deck summoning type, if it's just a type or an attribute or whatever you're limited to, it's not hard to just go in and be like, alright, what's the best, again, what is the best deck of this type, or what's the deck I have to change the least from a regular Ranked Ladder deck? Alright, we'll just use that. You know, there's all these, like, Pegasus Cup or Pegasus style events that they do with all the, like, you know, cool, fun rules. Why can't we have more of something like that in our Master Duel festivals? I don't know. I think that the overall huge failing of the Xyz Cup, and I do think it is a failing, because I have not seen one single person who's been excited for this event. You know, at the day that I'm recording this, we just got our additional missions, and I think I just heard the audible groan across all the Master Duel servers when those dropped today. So, yeah, I don't know. Again, I'm not inherently opposed to festivals. I think they can be quite fun. Like the first Limit one, NR was a ton of fun. But the ones that Konami puts out just aren't. They are just complete snooze fests. And this one isn't terribly different. So, I will say, though, that if nothing else, we do get at least some good Pearly practice. And if you are interested in Pearly as a deck, then you might want to check out some of these replays. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I really don't blame people for just being done with this festival. I'm pretty much there too. I'm at level 17 right now. I'm gonna go to 19 just to get the gems, and I might try to go for some of the rewards. But here's the thing about the rewards too, while I'm at it. Here's another thing that I really don't like about festivals, particularly the missions, is like, yeah, like, what is this? Like, the activate the spell or trap card, okay, you know, you get a decent amount of gems for the first, like, 20, you know, 30 or so. But then it's 20 gems. Like, you have to activate 50 spell or trap cards just to get the last 20. Same with normal or special summoning. Why do I have to play 50 games to get 10 gems? Or, like, not 50 games, obviously not quite that much, but why do I have to normal or special summon 50 times to get 10 gems? That's like, God. Even if you average 5 summons per duel, that's still 10 duels, that's 1 gem per game. So not worth it. I had kind of thought that, like, Konami had learned, because sometimes they do seem to get it more right with the, like, you know, gem distribution. Like this Winter Duel one, this is fine. Every 2 duels you get a few gems. I don't understand what's going on with the spell trap card, like these ones here. This is kind of a gaming gripe in general. Like, Konami's not the only one that does it, but, like, video games where they give you missions and, like, the last half of the mission is, like, a very minuscule reward. It's just like, ugh, eye rolling. Anyway, I don't know. Should I even bother breaking down this deck? It's Pearly. Y'all know Pearly, so I don't think I will. I'm just going to go straight on to these games that we got going on here. Alright, we're going to start with our first duel here. Since it is a Duelist Cup style event, I'm not able to really tell exactly what is, you know, what I'm going up against here, but... Okay, so here we're up against somebody who chose to go second. I think this person is on Numeron? I have at least one game I'm pretty sure where I'm on Numeron. So, I feel good my opening hand here, not really much going on, so... Oh no, it's Blue Eyes. Okay, this is the Blue Eyes game. I don't know why they chose to go second. I don't think of Blue Eyes as a particularly going second deck, but maybe it is, I'm just not aware. So, yeah, this opening hand, not too much we can do, just got a bunch of hand traps here. I'm going to throw out Maxi once the white stone hits the board, and they're actually just going to pass right then and there. So, that ended up being pretty good for me, but unfortunately, yeah, still not topping any plays, so... Gotta just set the Imperm and then pass right on over. Still a Veiler and Nib, of course, but let's see what we got here. Alright, Blue Eyes Alternative Dragon. This does have the ability to potentially... Oh, destroys a monster. Sorry, not a card. I was gonna say I'll wait for the Imperm still until they activate, but no, it only pops monsters, so... They're going for Heliopolis here. Now they're trying to destroy my Imperm, but I'm actually going to Veiler here. I knew they went for it at some point, I just couldn't remember which card it was. Yeah, so I'm actually using Veiler to protect the Imperm, which might look a little bit weird, but I definitely value this Imperm more than the Veiler, because the Veiler I can only use on the opponent's turn, plus the Imperm is set on the board, so I could potentially get a column, you know, potential spell trap negate could come up here. I'm not 100% expecting it to, but it might, so... Alright, finally drawing a Pearly Quick Play spell card. Gonna use the Pretty, but first I'm gonna put down the Field spell so that way they can't Veiler the Pearl Lily. Going to use that to grab the My Friend Pearly. We're gonna pay 500 Excavate. No, we're gonna pick 2 Sleepies and a Delicious. Get a Sleepy, so I'm gonna use that to summon the Pearly, pitching the Nibiru here. Pearly F gonna activate. We do find quite a few options here. I'm actually gonna take the Pretty Memory. And then I'm going to use Per Lily's effect to copy the Pretty Memory in Graveyard for the Beauty. And then now we can use the Pearly effect to use the Pretty Memory in hand to make another Beauty. Now, I could have just overlaid into Leoleska Symbol Nightingale, but I decided to do it this way, because like my ultimate goal is going to be to end on a Zeus, right? However, by doing it this way, I can keep some of their monsters out of the graveyard, which might come up, but also I end on a Zeus with 5 mats instead of 4, and I have a Beauty with 3 mats in addition to the Zeus, whereas if I had just overlaid the Pearly and Per Lily and gone for a Symbol Nightingale, I'd quote-unquote, only have a 4-mat Zeus. It actually probably a 2-mat Zeus. I probably wouldn't have board wiped necessarily during my turn, because their on-board monsters didn't present too much of a threat. Well, I guess to be fair, the Heliopolis did, right? So I would have actually had to board wipe. So, yeah, basically by doing it the way I did here, I can end on a 3-mat Beauty and a 5-mat Zeus instead of just a 2-mat Zeus, as opposed to, and them, you know, not having a board. So, alright, they're going to try to use Alternative to pop. I have the Beauty F. I'm just going to negate. They're overlaying the Alternative Dragon. I was not expecting this into the Typhon Sky Crisis. It's a card that I am still not quite used to playing around, especially while Zeus is on the field. That is actually kind of funny and very in canon for the Typhon to out the Zeus here. But because I did not use Zeus' effect, we still have the My Friend, so I still get back a couple of the Quick Play spell cards. They're going to pass right on back over to me. Drawing for turn. Now I have 3 different Pearly Quick Plays and the My Friend, which I'm going to fire off right here for, once again, 2 Sleepies and a Delicious. If I didn't already have Happy in hand, I probably would have just gone for Happy, but, again, already had it in hand. So, Pearly, I'll grab the Field spell here and then activate in case I need to protect from targeting at all. Going to use the Pearly to copy the Happy Memory. And here's the thing, though. I thought I could go for the OTK, but I don't actually have the Delicious, and that is what I... Oh, well, I can search it here, but as a result, I'm not going to get to search one of the Happies, and that's where I'm going to miss out on the OTK. Yeah, because you can, for the Pearly Happiness OTK, you need Delicious and Happy, and the reason you need to have Delicious already and you can't get off the first Happiness search is because of the reason you're about to see right here, where I'm going to end up being 1 attack short, because I only have 2. So maybe I actually should have grabbed Happiness instead of Sleepy Memory. Actually, definitely should have, now that I think about it. But, again, I thought I was going to have enough damage here. Not that big of a deal, though. We can just use the other Pearly Quick Play spell. I'm going to go into a Pearly, and we found the trap card, the Yeep. So my initial plan was if I didn't find like Yeep or a way to it, I was just going to go into a Zeus, but we found one of our 2 Yeeps off the Pearly, so we could potentially set up the X Pearly Noir at 5 mats. It was 6 mats, actually, after the field spell effect. So we would be good to go, definitely, for sure. Either way, regardless if it's a 4-mat Zeus or a 6-mat Pearly, X-Pearly Nora, rather, I don't think my opponent would have that easy of a time playing through it. So, all right, there is our first game. Let's take a look at the next one. All right, let's see what we've got going on here. Yeah, I decided to keep the Gamma and Driver in the main deck here, even though obviously we can't play Omega, because I think it's fine. So obviously it's fine to play Gamma and Driver and not Omega. Although I did a lot of opening Driver and not seeing Gamma at all. I do think Gamma is like fine in a deck like Pearly. I tend to not be that much of a Gamma believer, but I'm a little more of a Gamma believer for decks that will actually consistently make their opening play without a monster on the field. So, like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a good example. Well, I guess Fire King Stink Eye is a deck that plays Gamma sometimes that I probably personally would not play Gamma in. I've tried it. I mean, I've tried it in the past, but see, the problem I always run into with trying to play Gamma is not even necessarily opening Driver. Like, I don't even really care about that much. It's more like opening Gamma going first just feels really bad a lot of the time. Because, again, if you're starting your plays with, like, a normal summon or something, then your game is immediately not live anymore. And it's like, you know, what good is it to have the counter to the hand traps if it's never going to be live, right? Now, again, Pearly, we start with our quick play spells or My Friend a lot of the time. And if nothing else, you can always just discard a dead Gamma to the, Pearly quick play spells. But yeah, I don't know, like I said, a lot of the time, I'm just not that much of a believer in Gamma. Alright, here our opponent's going to nib us right at the end. It's completely fine, doesn't matter at all. Oh, I also misclicked here and accidentally banished one of my Pearlies. So, I guess, I mean, it would have gotten nibbed anyway, but I technically could have ended on an Ensemble Blue Robin in addition to the Noir here. But, yeah, I don't know, like I said, the nib is just kind of whatever. It's not really that much of a threat. Our My Friend is protected thanks to the, I think it's Happy Memory that protected it. So that's why it survived that Feather Duster there. Looks like the opponent is actually going to end up being on Fire King, which is an Xyz deck. It can be kind of hard to remember that sometimes, but Fire King is actually an Xyz deck. They do have a Rank 8 as their boss monster, so it counts for whatever. I mean, again, you can play decks that just don't care about extra decks at all in this event, like Labyrinth or Stun. Again, it's just interesting, right? Because thinking about Stun, too, Floodgates are another thing that Konami definitely goes out of their way to, like, ban for most festivals, but Stun didn't get touched at all here. I just think, again, they really do want it to be part of the competitive game, which I'm not as opposed to that with Stun as I am with, like, Max C. This is something I've said on the channel before. I mean, I don't play Stun, I don't like it, I don't enjoy playing against it, but, you know, people were just like, why don't they just ban all these, like, Floodgate and back row cards? And it's like, well, you can't just ban back row cards, like, in mass, because then all of a sudden, you know, every single deck is, you know, 20 engine, 20 hand traps, which is already, like, kind of the case, and people complain about it, but if there were no back row decks, that would always be the case, because there would never be any reason to even entertain playing stuff like Duster, or Evenly, or Cyclone, or, what's another one I'm forgetting? Lightning Storm, because, again, they just wouldn't exist, right? And also, I think people would start complaining pretty quickly that every single deck in the format's a combo deck. What the heck? So, anyway. Yeah, I'm just going to make a Zeus here, main phase 2. Just get the board wipe in. Definitely want to do it in response to the Fire King Sanctuary effect, because that will, of course, overlay for Grudik's Eternity. However, if neither Sanctuary nor the monsters are on the field, then they definitely can't, of course, do any overlaying. So, we're in a really good spot here. Opponent's in top deck mode. We are still on multi-material Zeus even after this end phase board wipe. I figured it was probably just the Fire King circle that they searched, but I just wanted to be safe, you know. No reason not to do that during the end phase there. Opponent's last card is going to be a Max C, but we have the Ash Blossom. Now that they even waited for us to activate it, I think they realized that, like, oh, yeah, there's not even really much of... Maybe they're not even on Nib or something, and they realize, like, oh, there's not anything I can draw into, so, yeah. Alright, I do have one more game for us to watch. Let's finish off with that one. Another thing I was thinking about this Xyz Cup that I'm not really super into is, like, one of the coolest parts of festivals is the exclusive like icons and accessories and stuff. And the thing that sucks about this cup is that it actually has a really cool icon frame that has like the little Xyz materials floating around the icon, which I would love, but you only get it for being in the top 100 of the Xyz cup, which, no. No, I don't even like grinding regular Duelist cups where number 1 could potentially get you, you know, a spot in the World Championships, right? The stakes could not be higher there. When it comes to an icon frame, the stakes literally could not be lower. I could not imagine exerting that much, like, time, energy, and other, like, mental resources to, something so insignificant. If that had been the level or the reward fitting, like, DL max level, then I would have actually, like, had real incentive to grind up to level 20. But again, here, I'm just going to stop at 19, because that's when the gem rewards stop, and there's no point, right? Sorry if you can hear that in the background, by the way. They're doing a little construction outside. Alright, so yeah, here, they max seed, so I'm not even going to just bother, right, with trying to, you know, actually get in there with plays. I'm just going to get in there with a little bit, 300 damage, right? So the funny thing is that their first prohibition called Harpy's Feather Duster, it's clear they're on some amount of a burn strat, but they also flipped this Curse of Darkness up too late, because I take the burn damage after the card resolves, meaning this already had to be face up on the field, so sorry about that. That buzzing is pretty loud, isn't it? This is the last game, so hopefully it won't be too much longer that, but yeah, once again, just going for a Zeus, and then I'm not even going to board wipe here, because their board isn't even threatening. I'll let them set one more card or activate something, and they do actually set one more card, so yeah, we'll let that get set, then wipe their board. It did end up being a burn deck, by the way. Secret Blast and Gravedigger's Trap Hole are down here, but I mean, now this game is like pretty much over. I'm pretty sure I could just win this turn if I really wanted to, but even if I couldn't, I do have the Zeus with 2 mats already in play, and could just wipe anything they try to set up on the follow-up, or like any of the following turns. And yeah, as soon as the My Friend resolves, we're just going to concede. I think they knew that they were just about done here, so alright, that is going to do it for these Xyz Festival games. Hopefully you enjoyed watching them more than I did playing them. Anyway, let's go ahead and just move on now to our outro. Hey everybody, Hexlex here. Just want to give you a huge thanks for watching all the way to the very end of the video. Believe it or not, that is actually one of the best ways that you can support the channel, is by watching the videos in their entirety. But there are many ways in which you can support the channel if you are so interested. The names that you're seeing on screen here, I gotta give an extra special thanks to, because these are people who have chosen to either become a member on YouTube, which if you're interested you can do as well via the join button next to the subscribe button down there, or have signed up over on Patreon and become members there. Link to that is going to be in the description below. Without the support that is being offered by, again, all the people that you're seeing on screen right here, I would not be able to take the time to dedicate to uploading daily YouTube videos. So thank you so very much. But there are also other ways you can support as well. Again, link to the description below. If you like my deck tracker that you'll see in a lot of my videos, the Untapped Companion, you can download that for free, and if you use my affiliate link down there, then that also goes a long way towards supporting the channel. That's, again, free. So is subscribing here on YouTube. That's also free and a huge way to support. You can also check out Twitch, once again linked in the description below. Following and subscribing over there will not only support as well, but also give you notifications of when I go live if you want to catch some of the live streams. But really, no matter how you choose to support, it all adds up, and it all definitely means the world. So thank you, each and every one of you. For now, this is Hexlex. I'm going to be signing out. But more than that, I'm hoping that you have a fantastic day.